You're only as strong as your weakest link, and apparently since I have a 12-year-old son right now, I am Cindy's weakest link. But he'll probably lose some Xbox this weekend. So I've enjoyed seeing what Cindy has done, and I really enjoyed joining in with her last year with these opportunities for kids to have authentic experiences connecting with people all across the world. And I had to practice learning to say
Buturlinovka.
Buturlinovka. But what I've really, what's really neat about this is just seeing Cindy's process to me. Seeing how she started one place and she's had to adapt it based on what her needs have been through this experience, and it's helped her gain other ways to give kids authentic experiences. And most of hers have involved publishing. And your opportunity here is not necessarily to do exactly what Cindy's done, but to find a way that it works with what you do. And so I want to show you some places you can get ideas, show you some tools you can use as you start to form your own ideas. So Cindy mentioned earlier the idea of electronic books. There are advantages to going an electronic route as opposed to a published route. And one of those is actually the bottom bullet there, is that it's free or minimal cost, depending on what apps you have to purchase or that sort of thing. It's a minimal cost to produce electronic books for us. But it also brings in some more opportunity. It brings in the opportunity to use audio and video and an element of interactivity within the book. And so I'll show you that. And then also you can reach a wider audience. Even if you get a grant and pay for all the kids to have a book, and there are only so many copies of the book you can buy. But like Cindy said, you can be posting things on blogs, you can send it out by Twitter, kids can send it to everybody they know. They can put it into their digital portfolio if it's set up as an ebook. And so you don't have to do either or, but this is a great option, and it's free. So I started with Google, mostly because Google is, if you're collaborating with people around the world, Google is a fairly universal tool that a lot of different schools use and have access to. With project examples here, I've got 3 examples that you'll have in the presentation, but the first one is just creating an ebook with Google Slides. And wait for it to load. This is a website from Shake Up Learning, but she you have to get through all of her little clicks. She wants you to click and buy her courses and that sort of thing, but she has good information if you can get around all of the things she wants to sell you to. How to create an ebook with Google Slides is a fairly simple thing. Really, you can customize the size of the page. Whoops. See, told you. You can customize the size of the pages in your Google Slides. You can create your slides, and then you can export them as a PDF. You actually have other options too, but a PDF is pretty easy export to do. And so that is your basic Google Slides ebook. But I wanted to show you something that was beyond the basic. And these are a couple of examples that I got from a Google Tools session I went to at Convergence last year. One of these is a Choose Your Own Adventure with Google Slides. So I mentioned that that you can create an ebook and that you can add an element of interactivity. So I wanted you to see this example. This is a Choose Your Own Adventure book, and I love the collaboration possibilities with this. Even if you use it only in your own classroom and don't collaborate outside of that. The collaboration possibilities are pretty awesome, because how this works is you have these slides, and this is a template, and you're free, they even put in here, you're free to use this template and to adjust it. Here's your, when you're in, I'll go to present mode so you can see how it works. So you click here to start, and one day a baby tiger was walking in the jungle. He suddenly looked up and realized he was lost. And you click to continue. What does the baby tiger do now? So then you choose, he takes the road on the left or he takes the road on the right. The kids get to decide. What they decide determines which screen it goes to, which slide it goes to in the deck. So, which way do we want to go? Left. Mr. Helfrich says left.
To the left, to the left.
The baby tiger walks and walks. He is sad because he is all alone. All of a sudden, he sees a cave. What does he do? He enters the cave, or he doesn't enter the cave. You want him to go in the cave? All right. In the cave, he hears something. Let me just continue. What is it? It's a puppy. Or it's a genie.
It's a genie.
Genie. The baby tiger smiles at the genie and says, "Can you please get me back home?" That's all, folks. Simple story. But imagine if somebody writes, what happens if this happens? And somebody else writes this side of the story. And so I could see so many possibilities here for kids to collaborate and decide what happens next. And this is the type of interactive story that if you're working with kids that are somewhere else, you could incorporate pictures from their community and say they choose to go here or choose to go here, and depending on which town they flew to would be what they saw. So you could really do some neat things when you're working with other classrooms outside of STAL. But even within STAL, you could work with other classrooms and create this sort of thing and have something to share at the end. When you're finished with it, when you have your whole book, you guys are dying to know what happens if you go the other way, right? But you can always go back and try again and do the other one. So I thought that was a really neat use of Google Slides and making an ebook. Let me go back to our, I have so many things open. The other neat idea is not a book at all. It's more of a virtual museum. And this one, again, says, enjoy this new tool. And David Lee says that he only asks that you give him, you don't get rid of any of the credits to him that he created this. But you can even take this idea and create your own. But this is a virtual museum template, and so it starts out fairly blank. And then there are rooms, and each one of these goes to a different slide in the slide deck. And those slides, well, this is Curator, but the slides have places to insert exhibits. The exhibits could be videos. The exhibits could be pictures. I could imagine green screen pictures being used here. So these are different rooms in the museum. Imagine how you could connect with another school and create museums with different rooms. You could even bring multiple schools together to create different museum rooms from different areas of the world, or different areas of our state, or different areas of our country. There's a whole museum to fill up here. And I just thought that was a really neat twist on this and a possible collaborative project. And when the kids finish, they have this whole museum they can take people on a tour of and tell what they've learned about the different, whatever it is that they've explored. They could do this for a book. They could do this for anything that they learned about. Let's see. So those are two, I thought, pretty neat examples of projects that could be collaborative, could be done in a situation where you're partnering with another teacher. And other than Google, I hit it, I promise.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Just gonna wait just a moment and see if it hears me.